southwest Austin. This is off the 10400 block of O'Rourke Lane. This happened around 5:20 p.m. yesterday evening. Someone called 911 and said her son and her father were inside the home. When officers arrived, they found two adult men inside the home, both with apparent gunshot wounds. The men were identified as 79-year-old Charles Wagnon and his grandson, 20-year-old Trevor Shepard. The investigation so far indicates that the two men got into an argument, which then escalated to the two men shooting each other inside that home. This is being investigated as the 53rd and 54th homicide this year in Austin. So if you go on our website, fox7austin.com, you can watch the full report that our Crime Watch reporter Meredith Aldis did, and you can get some more information on that. I also wanted to go back to that deadly plane crash we saw yesterday down in Galveston Bay. Of course, really the only images we had at the time during the show was more of the recovery efforts, if you will, and seeing EMS and ambulances and even what looked like jaws of life being brought into the equation there. We reported yesterday 5 were confirmed dead. We presumed there would be a 6th because that body was still missing, and they had even said, hey, we presume this person probably is deceased as well. So I do want to update you guys on that. According to the Associated Press, the air traffic controllers lost communication for about 10 minutes with that small Mexican Navy plane. It was carrying a medical patient and 7 others before it crashed off the coast. And if you saw in some of those videos, we are talking thick fog down in the Galveston Bay, and that resulting obviously in 6 people dying. This is according to the Mexico government. Now, the plane was actually working with a nonprofit, taking Mexican children with severe burns to a hospital in Galveston, and this was 29-year-old Navy Lieutenant Luis Enrique Castillo. And Castillo's family is actually back in their rural town in southern Mexico. They were left scrambling for answers, hoping for the best for their missing son. They said, quote, "We don't know what to do. All we can do is wait. We can't go to the United States. We have no visa." Obviously, this search coming to an end earlier today when they actually found Castillo's body. He was the one person that they were missing. American authorities, meanwhile, are still investigating the cause of all this, but the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, said that it could take a week or more to really recover all of this from the aircraft. Just a horrible situation. But what I do want to show you guys is we actually got video last night of the wreckage, and you can see some bystanders. These are not medical personnel. These are not first responders. They are the ones going on their boats there in the Galveston Bay and actually wanting to try and save these people. So I want to pull that up for you guys and show you some of that. And then I also wanted to show you guys the person involved with this, a man that one of our producers has just informed me that he's actually from Elgin, and this man being just a bystander there trying to help out. So I want to pull up that video from the wreckage if we can get that now. Actually, let's hear from this guy first, and then I'll show you guys exactly what it looked like that he was going through. And you'll hear from his son here as well, and his son very young, but obviously being there to try and help as well. So this is a man by the name of Sky Decker. And Sky Decker there had a boat, locally, and sees this plane go down and then tries to help. So we're listening to what Sky Decker and his son, who we were told is Sky Jr., what they had to say following this crash. This is from last night.
Some policemen waved us down, and they got on our boat, and they found out where it was with their radios, and so that's how we found it. When I saw the wreckage, I couldn't imagine that there'd be anybody alive in there. But the people that were there said there was, so I jumped in and we were able to get her out of there.
Well, I mean, since I am younger, it was kind of hard to see, like, my dad pull out the guy that was already deceased. But I think my main goal was just try to get some footage to maybe help out the cops or something.
As you see here is that medical personnel trying to recover these people. This is from last night, of course. We heard from Sky Decker there, one of the guys who goes in there and tries to rescue a woman that was trapped inside. And as you heard his son say there, he was just trying to capture all of this because he thought maybe it would be helpful to law enforcement. A very young kid there. I don't know exactly how young he is, but what a mature response for him speaking with law enforcement there. And Sky Decker just saying, hey, we were trying to do everything we could. The police even contacting them and saying, hey, can you help us out here with your boat? and try and get us a little closer. So incredible that anyone survived this. As I mentioned, 8 people were on board. 6 of them have been confirmed dead. So 2 people actually surviving this crash, which just seems hard to believe based upon the images that we were looking at. But I want to show you now the images of that wreck and them trying to go through it. And it's even, as I mentioned, you got thick fog involved with all this, but also having to deal with the sediment in the water there and trying to find somebody just to make matters worse. So just unbelievable scenes here. I want to show you this video from the crash site. Oh, that's not it. I'm trying to find it now. Oh, great. May have lost it there. Anyway, but that is the latest from that. And Sky Decker, the guy talking there, of course, with his son about pulling those bodies that they got from the Galveston Bay there. 6 dead, 8 total on that Mexican Navy plane. I want to switch gears now to a story that came out of Pennsylvania that's just happened a couple hours ago. There was an explosion at a nursing home. This coming just outside of Philadelphia, Bristol, Pennsylvania. This explosion has killed at least 2 people. It collapsed part of the building, and then it sent fire shooting out and left people trapped inside. This is according to Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro speaking in a news conference just a couple of hours ago to everybody about this. The fire officials said they were in rescue mode, and first responders still trying to dig through all of this rubble hand by hand, using search dogs, doing everything they possibly can to try and rescue these people. So I did go back and grab the early part of that press conference. The fire official here, and he's going to tell us exactly what was going on after this explosion. As I mentioned, an explosion at a nursing home. It sounds hard to believe, but that's what we're dealing with here.
Came from every direction, and I believe every municipality around here, and were literally carrying the patients. As we handed them off to them, they were carrying patients, and as the governor said, there was one police officer who literally threw 2 people over his shoulders and ran with people to help, to definitive health care. It was nothing short of extraordinary, the operation that was taking place. When we entered the collapse zone, we did rescue 2 people from the actual collapsed structure in the basement. We did have a heavy odor of gas at that time. We got everyone out that we could find, that we could see, and we exited the building. Within approximately 15 to 30 seconds of us exiting the building, knowing there was a heavy odor of natural gas around us, there was another explosion and fire. We kept the fire in check without giving up the source. The fire actually helped us identify where the leak was coming from in the basement.
As you can see there, that's the Pennsylvania fire officials down there. This explosion at a senior living facility. It's called the Bristol Health and Rehab Center in Bristol Township. This is just a devastating story here. 2 people killed just outside of Philadelphia in Bristol. Of course, we'll update you guys as we learn more, but as I mentioned, first responders still going through all of this, trying to figure out more information, what appears to be a gas leak. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Epstein files, more files released. Welcome back to Austin Now, live from the Fox 7 Austin newsroom on this Tuesday, just a few days out from Christmas, of course. I know many of you are probably already checked out when it comes to work or what have you and trying to get things ready for the holiday season. But on Friday, as I mentioned, we got the first batch, if you will, of the Epstein files released. We knew it was coming due to the Transparency Act getting passed and essentially the Justice Department having 30 days to try and make everything publicly available. We didn't get everything all at once. Obviously, there's tens of thousands of documents to go through, photos, videos, affidavits. I mean, you name it. There is so much information here that really can just flood the entire system. So today, we got even more documents and files released, 30,000 according to the Justice Department. Now, as I mentioned, it's hard to go through all of this when you're actually on the website. So there are a lot of people out there that go through it, compile it, and then those things kind of run rampant, if you will, on social media once people find something that is actually interesting. So there was a letter that was found in all of this, and it appears to be from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar, another sex abuser. Of course, many know him as the person dealing with so many high-profile athletes who's obviously gone away for a long time. So the letter, and I'll pull it up, it's very strange, and this is from TMZ here. It's saying, "Dear LN," as you can see here, "as you know by now, I have taken the short route home. Good luck. We shared many things, love for caring for young ladies and hope they'd reach their full potential. Our president shares the same love," and at the time of this was written, this is 2019, and so we're talking about right as Jeffrey Epstein allegedly takes his own life here in that prison. And so this gets released. People then start looking at the actual documentation of the letter in terms of the stamp, the time this was posted, and the Department of Justice, really a few hours after this gets put online, coming really to the defense of this. And so this was 6 hours ago. I'll pull this up now, and as you can see here, this from the Justice Department, putting on X, Twitter, if you will, quote, "The FBI has confirmed this alleged letter from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar is fake. The fake letter was received by the jail and flagged for the FBI at the time. The FBI made this conclusion based on the following facts. The writing does not appear to match Jeffrey Epstein's. The letter was postmarked 3 days after Epstein's death out of Northern Virginia, when he was actually jailed in New York, where he eventually took his own life. The return address did not list the jail where Epstein was held and did not include his inmate number, which is required for outgoing mail. This fake letter serves as a reminder that just because a document is released by the Department of Justice does not make the allegations or claims within the document factual. Nevertheless, the DOJ will continue to release all material required by law." So obviously a lot of people have come to the defense of President Trump being in this letter to what appears to be Larry Nassar from Jeffrey Epstein, and other people saying, well, the reason it's postmarked Northern Virginia is because when this was sent out, this was then flagged by the FBI in Northern Virginia. Once it was put through, then gets postmarked and gets sent off. And so you've got both sides of the aisle arguing here in terms of, you know, what's true and what's not. And I think what the Justice Department is trying to say here is we're going to release tens of thousands of documents and pictures. Just because we're releasing something doesn't necessarily mean that anybody just is guilty by association. And so they're trying to be totally transparent in all of this. So it's been an interesting day in terms of the files getting released, as I mentioned. TMZ reporting more on this, saying the end of the letter, which I didn't get to, it says, "When a young beauty walked by, he loved to, quote, grab snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system. Life is unfair. It's signed yours, J. Epstein." Very strange letter. So the feds eventually got their hands on the letter after it was sent back to MCC, where Epstein was locked up in New York. And because Nassar had been transferred from Tucson, Arizona to a Florida prison, an FBI agent requested that a lab perform a handwriting analysis to prove Epstein wrote the letter. It's unclear what those results were. The DOJ, as I just mentioned, has commented on this, saying that a lot of this is going to be sensationalized and false. especially claims, quote, made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. So this coming from TMZ earlier. They also posted this full comment, as I just showed you guys on Twitter, from the DOJ. And so, according to the DOJ, that letter is fake. But obviously, we're going to continue to get more information from the Justice Department. Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, has been seen making multiple media appearances to try and talk about this, even with Meet the Press, as we've seen, basically saying, hey, we're going to put stuff out there, but just because somebody's name is associated with it, specifically President Trump, it doesn't mean that there's any wrongdoing here. And so I think we're going to continue to get a lot of information. We're going to continue to get images, documents, and it's really going to be up to people to go through this and try and understand exactly what we're looking at here. And so I just wanted to touch base on that. I did want to show you guys something pretty remarkable in terms of what you call a Superman police officer, I guess you could say. And this was a story I just had to show you guys. Really amazing video here in terms of something that occurred up in North Texas. And so I want to pull this up. This police officer sees a school bus in the middle of the road and sees, oh my goodness, this is a clear danger here. And watch what happens. I want to show you guys this. Okay, this is a guy with a dash cam driving by. You see this school bus there stuck in the middle of the road. Check this out. This police officer right there, look how strong this guy is. Basically a Superman performance there to try and get this bus out of harm's way. A bus full of school children that could have definitely been hit if somebody was not paying attention, but remarkable efforts there by that police officer up in North Texas. This video, just incredible. And of course, he has gotten his flowers, if you will. So we were informed that this is from our sister station up in Dallas. They said the officer has been identified as Adric Strife. He's actually a U.S. Army veteran and school resource officer at this academy in this area there. And so, as you can see, that dash cam footage captured, quote, who they're calling Superman now. This was actually on December 16th, so this happened a little bit ago, but just had to show you guys that up in North Texas. Just a really incredible act of courage there from that police officer. When we come back in our final segment, which is our shortest segment, we're going to have some holiday fun here. We're going to rank, okay, my top 5 Christmas movies, and you're going to disagree. And we're also going to talk about the top 3 overrated Christmas movies, because there are overrated Christmas movies out there. I know that's hard to believe. And the ones that I've picked, I think you guys will. welcome back into Austin Now. Final segment of the show. We're going to get in the holiday spirit here, okay? And so, got some hot takes, maybe got some cold takes, depending on what you think about it. So, let's start with the top 5 Christmas movies, in my opinion, okay? And this is in an order, and this is how I feel about them personally. This doesn't mean that you have to like them, but these are some of mine. So, technically, I want to start with number 5 now. This is actually a movie that I think has moved up on my list. And this is Christmas with the Cranks. Can you guys see that? I swear using this thing. There we go. Christmas with the Cranks, okay? This one is kind of a tie at 5 for me. I'll tell you why. I didn't think this movie was good when I saw it in the theater, even when I was like a young kid. Didn't think it was that great. Thought it was cheesy. As time has progressed, I think it's slowly become one of my favorites. I think the combination of Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis is great. Dan Aykroyd being who he is, obviously, in that film. A movie about you send your daughter off, and you, now the empty nesters, are trying to do something different for Christmas, but no matter what happens, it's always best to just go back to what matters and being around family and having your neighbors help you out as well. A very interesting movie. I think it's funny. Jamie Lee Curtis is so dramatic in it. Tim Allen basically just playing Tim Allen. So that's like 5, 6. What it's tied with, a bit controversial here. It's a Wonderful Life. A lot of people my age don't like this movie. They think it's way too long for a Christmas movie. They think it's boring, and it's in black and white. And so a lot of people obviously can't keep up with that. They're sick of it. However, it's Jimmy Stewart, Frank Capra. It's a classic. I understand it's a little outdated for some people, but Jimmy Stewart, I mean, one of the greatest all-time classic Hollywood stars out there. Total classic. I'll put it up there because this one I think is slowly diminishing, whereas Christmas with the Cranks is moving. Number 4. 3. Yeah, 3. No, 4. How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000 with Jim Carrey, as you can see here. I think this is... I mean, Jim Carrey is just a genius. I think he really makes this movie. The reason I say that is just his facial expressions, everything he was able to do with this character, so perfect for the role. It is a bit outlandish, but Jim Carrey, I mean, one of the greatest comedians we've seen all time. It is a joy to watch him. Ron Howard directing that. Then, I'll go into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I think it's a classic for a lot of dads out there who feel like, hey, I'm waiting to get this Christmas bonus. I really need this. This could change my entire year. I'm trying to do the right thing here. I'm trying to be a good dad and a good husband. And then you don't get that Christmas bonus. You are so mad. You are so frustrated. And you stand up to your boss and you try and do something right for Christmas. So I think it's good. This was Chevy Chase really, back in his heyday when I think he really was just such a massive star. This one, I think a lot of women will agree with me on this one. The Holiday, fantastic. What a cast. I mean, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, Jack Black. Jack Black, underrated actor. He can be serious and funny at the same time. Jude Law, total heartthrob in this. Kate Winslet being with Jack Black, wild, right? And then everybody, of course, loves Cameron Diaz. But this is a feel-good movie. It just makes you feel good. I think it's beautifully shot. I like the acting. It's a rom-com that I can sit and watch. And you can put this on any time of the year, honestly. Number 1, undisputed champ in my opinion. I will watch this movie every year, especially when TNT or TBS does their rerun. I mean, this is just the best. The best storyline. It has so many quotable parts to it. I mean, the casting is incredible. You'll shoot your eye out. It's this story that, you want this one thing for Christmas, and everybody is telling him he can't have it. It's a remarkable film. It is brilliantly done. It's so funny. It's so classic. There's just so many great moments in the movie that I think make it. Okay, that's number 1 for me. These are the most overrated films, okay? And I don't want to reveal them just yet, so hold on. Let me pull this back because I don't want to show you guys what number 1 is. But let's start with number 3 on the list. And I didn't think I would feel this way, but I do now, and I'll tell you why. Because the reason I feel this way is because I don't think this movie has aged well. The book is amazing. The book is quiet and concise and this beautiful story. There's a lot of Tom Hanks in this. I like Tom Hanks. But there's a guy in here, and his voice is just nauseating. You'll see. It's not aging well. The book is superior. I'll say that. Home Alone, number 2 for me on most overrated. I don't know. I've never understood why so many people like this so much. Macaulay Culkin, I get it. You know, for a lot of people, this is classic. You got Joe Pesci in there. I appreciate that, but I don't know. Doesn't do it for me. And I would argue maybe the second one is better. Donald Trump's actually in that movie as well. The number one most overrated film, and I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and I'm prepared for it, okay? Number one, I don't want to zoom in too much there on Macaulay Culkin. Number one is Elf. I know, and a lot of you are upset out there. Because for a lot of you, this is your favorite Christmas movie. But to me, this is the most overrated. And I'll tell you why. Will Ferrell is a genius. Comedy genius. I love so many things that he's in, from Saturday Night Live, Old School, Anchorman, you name it. This, even though it was a huge success, doesn't do it for me. I think it's super cheesy, seeing him act like an 8-year-old boy. James Caan being in it, who, of course, most famous for Sonny Corleone in The Godfather, who I love him in that role, and he's done so many great movies like Misery, rest in peace, James Caan. He is the best part of the movie because he is so irritated by Will Ferrell, and Will Ferrell has come out and said that was real. Like, James Caan was actually frustrated with me because I was acting like a child. So, I don't know. I understand a lot of people like this movie. The scene of him, like, chugging the soda and he's burping and all the candy he's eating. I don't know. It's just childish to me. I find it a bit awkward at times. It's not Will Ferrell at his best, but I understand a lot of people out there love it. And look, it's all up to you, okay? Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. There's so many other movies we could add to this. I didn't want to get into the Die Hard argument, but yes, it is a Christmas movie, but I didn't want to include it in here. Still a great movie. So, those are my lists. Top 5 Christmas movies, and then my top 3 most overrated. Maybe we'll have more countdowns like this and see what you guys have to say. But as we wrap up the show, of course, looking forward to our 9 o'clock as well and our 10 o'clock, which you can also stay here and watch on the Fox local app. You can also just watch on our Fox 7 station, wherever you may get that, YouTube TV, normal cable, whatever you got. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve. So if you haven't wrapped those gifts, I highly suggest you do. Have a great night, everybody.